Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is The Press. We're reaching you live from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Now we'll go straight to analyzing the stories that we read out to you earlier. And my guest on the show today is Kola Alapinni, who is international human rights lawyer. Great to have you, Kola.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Welcome back to this side of the world. All right, let's quite a number of stories right there on all of our national dailies, but definitely you already know that when it's the morning after Democracy Day, we already know what's to find on the in the headlines. So let's start with Vanguard newspaper says Democracy Day, eminent citizens, elder statesmen chart way forward, as you have people like Anyoko, Nwachukwu and other people, and even former President Jonathan Obi talking about restructuring, and they say that we need new constitution to halt Nigeria's collapse. But on the flip side, some other persons do not agree with the same thing. And there you have our democracy is in recession, doesn't reflect our cultural experiences, and that's coming from Bishop Matthew Kuka. And on the flip side, also you have Gani Adams, Oke Odumakin, others canvass regionalism. Let's get your thought in this regard.
First, tribute to Chief MKO Abiola, who paved the way for us to even be able to celebrate Democracy Day. June 12 was a momentous occasion in the history of Nigeria. Even it's still the elections that we could be saying it's a benchmark election, you know. Unfortunately, it seems various people have just hijacked the June 12 thing. First, it wasn't being celebrated nationally. They almost made it a Yoruba thing. And now President Tinubu himself, who was one of the agitators for June 12, he went into exile, remember, finally got into position to be able to make it a national day for us. But really, what are we really celebrating? There's poverty in the land, people are hungry. It could be much, much better. And I think the economy fared a lot worse under him in the last 1 year. Policies were not clearly thought of. For instance, if the president had not made that announcement he made when he was being sworn in, fuel subsidy gone. I think he tends to see himself that he can speak on the spur of the moment, but he's not really a gifted speaker. And it does more damage than good when he does so. The president of the country is a symbol. Anything you say can make the stock market go up or crash, and you can see the rippling effect of that careless statement that day. It was inappropriate.
Did you just call it a careless statement?
I said it was a careless statement. I have authority to say so. It's careless. It was inappropriate. It was not well thought out, and we are all paying the price. We're all paying the price now. What will have been the flip side if he didn't make that announcement that day? It has a rippling effect on the market women, on everybody, on transporters and all. So we're suffering more than he met us. So he could have just kept quiet. And now, we now know that the subsidy, even though it was announced to be removed, has not gone anywhere. We're still paying. So nothing has changed. How has the removal impacted on your life positively? Petrol is almost 60,000 naira to fill my tank. From 13,000, that was the first shock the last time. You know, I was out and came back into the country. Nigeria has become an unrecognizable place. 4 tomatoes for 1,000, and then the people, you keep telling the people to brace themselves, to hold up, but they see you living large. What are you doing with the convoy of 18 vehicles for? You see government officials, vehicles, those vehicles must cost money to run, fueling them, you know, and everybody can see that you guys in government are living large, you're living well. And you expect the ordinary people to buckle their belts. Even if you're being paid 60,000 minimum, even if 100,000 minimum wage, if you're being paid 100,000, what can it really buy?
What can it really buy? I hear you, Kola. Let's quickly take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yeah, my name is Chima, calling from Anambra State, Onitsha precisely.
Chira from Onitsha, good to have you. Go ahead, your mic is on.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you doing over there?
Very well, thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I want to say something about Nigerian democracy.
Please do.
So far, how far have we gone? Is this good or bad
Yes, please.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Since 1999 till date, I think it's one step forward, 3 steps backward. I don't think we are still in that place we are. 1 step forward, 2 steps backward. 1 step forward, 3 steps backward. That's my take this morning. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chima from Onitsha. Good to hear from you. All right, so let's still stay on fuel subsidy is gone. After 1 year, you're still wondering why we pay how much? Over 600 naira for a liter to buy a liter of fuel, even at the current dollar price. And then you still keep hearing fuel subsidy is gone. A few days ago, we saw the former vice president talk about the leaked document, according to the presidency, saying that the fuel they're still paying, whether they're still paying subsidy or not. And then the former vice president says that this administration should come out clean because it's all a sham. But they came out to say that it was just a leaked document and all of that. But in all of this, the fuel subsidy is gone. Nigerians are still going through what they're going through, but we hear President Bola Ahmed Tinubu keep taking those baby steps of pain. Amagbewale, all those. Should we still keep anticipating, keep being optimistic even after 1 year of the administration? Let's quickly take this call from Chief Areo. Chief Areo, it's great to hear from you today. Good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Very well, thank you.
Yeah. Good morning. My greetings to your analyst over there.
Great. Go ahead, sir.
When we talk about democracy, or better say democracy day, I ask a pertinent question. Do we actually, what have we achieved for this democracy day? It has to be pain, with real pain. Look at the policy of Kola Tinubu, the withdrawal of the subsidy. You see, Martin Luther King said one time, I quote, the only place you can solve any problem is to remove the cause. You see, the cause of all what is happening is on the withdrawal of that subsidy. And since that time, things have never been. My sister, go to the market now, you cannot buy tomatoes. Even if you are paying 250,000 in a month, you cannot. And if really our leaders have our interests at heart, I don't think that they should treat us the way they are treating us. We are celebrating Democracy Day also with a lot of protest. You saw the protest in Lagos and Abuja, and even in Kaduna over here. That tells you that people are not happy about what is actually going on in this country.
All right.
You see, the moment they reduce the price of food, there is no magic Bola Tinubu can use to bring the price of items down.
All right.
The only thing for them is to reduce the price of fuel. If the price of fuel is not reduced, we are at square zero. I tell you this morning. God bless our country, Nigeria.
God bless you, Chief Areo from Kaduna State. Go ahead, Kola.
Yeah, so as it was, your guest was Zakora.
Yes, okay, it's gone. Go ahead.
So that's just it in a nutshell. If the Nigerian government, we had 4 refineries, we kept on saying we're trying to fix it, turnaround, maintenance, everything. It took one man just to sit down and say, hey, there's an issue here. I will build my own refinery. Though he didn't deliver it on time as he said he was going to, but he has built it. So that we need more of that. It's going to be the largest refinery in the world, and they say we don't even need to be exporting fuel anymore and all. So that refinery needs to get working, and government has to have an interventionist policy of making that price come down. If our economy is a petrodollar economy, so we take the raw material, which is a crude oil, and we don't have any refineries. We sell it to them in Forex, and then they charge us for refining it. What kind of stupid economics is that? We continued for that for years. The reason why it continued that way was because some people were profiting from it. When you see anything bad or not working properly in Nigeria, and it becomes like it's come here to stay, some people enforced that policy to be able to stay that way so that they'll be benefiting. Why do you think we don't have light? And we become the greatest user of generators in Africa, maybe around the world. It's because some people are bringing in generators and they're profiting from it. So this president we have is supposed to be the most prepared man for the job. He told you it's been a lifelong ambition. I've always wanted president. He had been in the trenches since the 90s. I was making an example earlier when he was with Chief MK Abiola. So he ought to know if there's anyone else who we shouldn't even cut any slack for. Is this president? Because he's supposed to know. It was right there in the thick and thin of it. So this is performed poorly as far as the economy is concerned. He's almost making General Buhari look like a saint.
Okay, so before I take this call, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest, how would you rate President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration and strategy?
Don't let me rate him at all. He's not going to score well. He'll score very poorly. It's horrible.
Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yeah, my name is Steve. I'm calling from Warri.
Steve from Warri. Great to hear from you. Please turn down the volume of your TV set so we can hear you clearly.
Okay, you can hear me clearly, right?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, we're talking about democracy. So you know they changed the national item, right?
Yes.
Okay. They should go back to the old constitution of the national item. When in those days, 80s, 70s, you will see school have farm. Primary school have farm. Secondary school have farms. If you go to school, when you want to go back from north, they will give transport. The government will give transport to your state. The government have to change the system. They are not changing the system. They are going, since we have this democracy, now, there's nothing working well. We have 4 refineries in this country. They are not working. No one. They will tell you tomorrow, say, Port refinery worked December last year. It didn't work. Warri refinery and Warri man, they're dead. I call it Dewu and Lee Engineering. They are working there. The refinery is not working. So why do we have 4 refineries? No one is working. And if you even increase the fuel, you increase minimum wage to even 200. Worker cannot even buy a sack of rice at home. You cannot even buy diesel of 50 liter at home or fuel. So what's the need of increasing minimum wage? Go back, draw that your subsidy apps. They say that the subsidies app. Up to today, we are not benefiting anything. It's poverty. Let them go back to you. Look at the other one they are doing now. If PDP win a state, all the local government chairman will beat PDP. I will say we are doing democracy.
All right.
They're supposed to be, APC is supposed to be there, PDP is supposed to be there, Labour Party, different parties supposed to win the local government. But now, if you win as a governor, that party will, all the local government chairmen, all the councillors will be PDP. All
right.
That is not democracy.
All right. Thank you so much, Steve. Your point is well taken. Thank you so much for calling.
The people surrounding the president are not telling them the truth. But that's a major trait in our country.
Is that the problem here? The people around him?
Problems. Yeah, they're all psychopaths. Did you see the painting they were unveiling yesterday at the stadium, saying it was the world's largest painting on canvas? How they got to that, I don't know, because it's subject to verification. But is that what we're here for? Is that the next thing now?
Is that a misplaced priority for you?
Of course it is. Why we spend so much money on the canvas painting when people are hungry? You know, that's so distasteful. People are they're talking you up. They're making you think that the best thing that's happened to us since coffee. It's not true. People are struggling, and they need to tell the president. They need to let him know. He's the most informed person in Nigeria. Every day he gets briefings on his desk. If he's willing to read it, they might summarize it. But I always say, if the president wants to know what you and I discussed yesterday, he can find out. He's not powerful, and he has such information at his fingertips. But people are not telling him the truth, because they feel like if you say the truth, you might be cut out from that circle. So people are just becoming rich now. They just made it in the Nigerian terminology because their man is in government. Okay, and that's how it happens in this area. Okay, they're not thinking of everyone. There has to be a holistic approach to deliver the goods. You promise them. So I can do it. You don't need, you've forgotten some of his campaign speech. He's not going to dig a grave. He's going to use his brain.
So bricklayer's work.
I'm ready for the job, man. So now you've talked the talk, walk the walk now. People are hungry. The truth needs to be said. People are hungry. And you pick up your phone and you request after request on your phone. So it's almost scary. You want to pick up your WhatsApp, you're saying like 60 messages. 30 of those are requesting for financial support.
Urgent 2K.
Times are hard.
Kola, Alapinni, times are really hard, especially when you find, I was talking to someone and I said, someone who used to help me when I was in school, in the university, called me some time ago and then said, it's really difficult for him, but if you can just, and I almost shed tears, and I just knew that it has gotten bad.
Yeah, people's fortunes have declined a lot in the last 1 year. We were complaining about the Buhari years, and he didn't seem to know what he was doing anyway. He shut it down. The
Are you missing President President Muhammadu Buhari here now?
Good riddance to bad rubbish. I'm missing him. Like, he demonized this country for 80 years. The suffering that we're suffering now, Buhari laid the foundation for 8 years. He put a boot on our neck and he couldn't care less. That was the thing. He's so aloof and disconnected from the people. How can you come in and the sack of rice is 7,500, and then by the time you're leaving office, it's almost costing 80,000 or 70,000? Is that a good legacy? No, of course not.
Okay, so let's I asked the question with regards to restructuring. Those who are calling for restructuring, some say let's overhaul it, the constitution. Some say let's put some twist, just tweak it up a little bit. And then the last caller even talked about if you're changing the national anthem, if you're taking it from the old back to making it the new, also that same thing should happen to the constitution. Do you agree with this?
Very quickly. So your questions, I identify regionalism,
right,
and then you're also talking about overhauling of the constitution and restructuring. I think we all agree that the current situation is not working. We need to first admit that the current system of government, where everybody, the governors come at the end of the month, cup in hands, begging for federal allocation in Abuja every month, has made people lazy, and that's why you'll find out that we're just misguided and we have no grounding. I'll give you an example. If everything was working at the regions, then every region would strive, there will be healthy competition. A certain allocation can go to the federal government to run the federal government. I apologize, my alarm. So it could go to run the federal government, okay, but the real monies will come from the various regions, and there will be a stronger region there. But some people have gotten so rich and fat on the way this current system works that there probably would be stumbling blocks in going back to regionalism, because this has been suggested at the Constitutional Conference, and why has it not been implemented? Maybe now the National Assembly is trying to take a look at it. Maybe they will move with the speed which we saw
the anthem,
which reversed to the anthem. So we need to go back to making our states stronger, regions stronger. There will be a healthy competition. The regions will be more productive. There will be less people moving into Abuja, coming for the national cake. Let the national cake truly be national, and let it start from the regions and make the regions work. If it doesn't work, everybody will just be looking for federal government contracts. And that's what the governors all do. They just come at the end of the month and they want to share the money.
All right, let's quickly take this call before we go ahead. Good morning. Good morning, are you there?
Good morning.
Collins from Otupu, Benue State.
Good morning.
Your mic is on. Good morning.
Happy Democracy Day.
Same to you, Collins.
Yeah, I think continue with Democracy Day. Demonstration of grace. I want to comment on the issue of the salary of it. Look, let's just be frank to each other. Many a times I did tell you, I'm from Benue State, precisely Otupu, Benue State. We happen to know that Benue State is the food basket of the nation.
Right.
But is there food now? Do we in Benue State still have food? If you can buy a cup of gari, 200 naira. Even if you come back from the farm now for you to soak gari and eat, if you don't have it in your house, you are not going to spend less than 500 naira before you get gari to eat. Buy a cup 200, sugar of 100 naira will not be enough. Buy that kuli or granite, all these things is taking you almost 500 naira. The salary of a team, look, if the federal government refuses to comply, this is when we are going to know whether labor is working or not. And if there happens to do anything now, and this strike still came up, I'm telling you, that is the doom of the nation. If all these politicians have the dice, they have everything in mind towards the masses, look at how much they are collecting. If a House of Rep member can collect 38 million a month, or a senator collecting 60-something thousand a month, or the presidency complied, let them reduce their salary structure and all the SSEs.
All right.
Yeah. All of them, they have APs, PSPs, and all whatnot. A senator will carry almost 7 to 8 drivers. A vehicle he will use from one place to the other will consume no less than 500,000 to 600,000.
All right, Collins. You need to round up.
All these SSS will not be there. Let them try to answer the labor and keep everything going.
All right.
People are dying of hunger, more especially the security aspect. We can't go to farm now, as I'm talking to you in Benue State. Next year, if we are not careful, will be the worst year. Because the food crisis will be much, the hunger will lie. So may God. Let's pray. My own is just prayer.
Okay. Thank you, Collins from Otukpo, Benue State. Good to hear from you again.
I just got back from Jos, and I spent the weekend in Jos visiting all those places where you had a Christmas Day massacre. And it's real what Collins just said. People can't go to the farm. They're scared. President Buhari, the former president, ensured that there was herder terrorism in our countries by not confronting those herders when they were going on rampage, killing people. 78 people killed in Benue in one day. Nigeria is a killing field, and it doesn't give us, it doesn't speak well of us abroad, because everybody's asking, what's your president doing? What's your president doing? We went to villages completely ransacked.
I don't think it's wrong to actually think or say or see that Nigeria is a killing field.
Yeah, Buhari was the president of Miyetti Allah. It was a patron. They made him their patron. So he hardly moved against Miyetti Allah. He hardly moved against all these herders that were terrorizing people and destroying people's farms and even trying to take their ancestral land. So when the president does not do the right thing, the fish starts rotting from the head. You know, it was very biased toward the Fulanese. And look at the repercussion.
But we have amongst the Fulanese those who they said they've been living with us, and then they're not, because they were infiltrated. These the bad ones that are the.
Then the government needs to do something. The government needs to do something. How can there be an attack on the community in Plateau? 200 people slaughtered, and they're calling the army, calling the police, and they said they don't have fuel. And they waited till the people were killed. And who have we arrested? Has there been justice? Have we brought them to book? People can't go to the farms. You just see all the herders, you know, with their cattle and everything rampaging on people's farms. There is going to be hunger, Annabel. There is going to be hunger because we're not producing like we should have, and there's no equity and justice. We have refused to bring these terrorists to book. Justice has to be done, and people should manifestly see that they have a government that will protect them. The next one, we're spending 90 billion on Hajj, to subsidize Hajj to another person's economy. That 90 billion should have gone to the workers, to health institutions, to universities. What's wrong with us? 90 billion to perform pilgrimage. If there wasn't a war in Israel, the Christians too are going to come up and say, give us our own, so we want to go to Jerusalem, but nobody want to go to Jerusalem. Bishop want go heaven, but Bishop no one die. Nobody want to go to Jerusalem right now because war day with our in Gaza and Hamas and everything. Nobody want Wahala, so nobody's pushing for it. But if there was no war in Israel, they would have shouted, oh, you give 90 billion to the Muslims, give us 90 billion as well. And then the Ishashi people too, so if you're leaving us out, we want to go to Brazil, we want to go to Cuba. It's priorities. Take the funding to where it's really needed. Our universities are failing. Our health institutions, everything. All the promises that you made to the people, campaign, where are the campaign promises now?
Okay, so we'll talk about the campaign promises, but then let's still look at the new minimum wage. Labour says nothing less than 250,000, even though they started from over 600,000. And I always say that is I don't know why it's just looking like when your mom or your aunt is pricing bomo or pricing meat from the butcher, and the meat seller says no, you're paying 5,000, and she says no, I want to pay 2,000, and that kind of tussle they have there. But then they say no, we do not agree to all that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu talked about yesterday, and we are doing 250,000. But then the Punch newspaper says the minimum wage, federal government warns of mass sackings as labor disowns agreement. Unrealistic minimum wage will cause job losses, minister tells labor. I'm even asking, is that supposed to be a threat or something? But then Daily Trust says only 5.3 million workers will benefit from the new minimum wage. If you remember, a few days ago we saw the finance minister, there was a story about them agreeing to 105,000 naira, but then they said no, it was leaked. You just begin to wonder. Another time we saw what happened between Anonuga and Adjuro and Galali. One says that the president will address the National Assembly. The other says, oh no, it is malicious. And you just wonder what exactly do you think is happening there? Well,
a bowl of amala, wrap of amala now costs 500 naira.
Tell me about it, Kola.
It's always shocking. When I go back, it was as if I came into a new country.
You used to buy amala 50 naira, 100 naira.
Meat is now 2,000 naira in some restaurants. If you're buying by the roadside, or maybe 500 naira, you go to the nice restaurants around here, one piece of meat is 2,000, one pomo is 2,000, one amala is 500, and then you think people will not rebel. Of course they will rebel, even if you're paying them 250,000. And we don't bring down the cost of things in the market, which is a direct reflection of people not farming because their lives are in danger. We refuse to protect them against other terrorists. We refuse to fix our refineries or start producing our own petrol because it trickles and has a direct implication on everything that we do. In the barber, you see, most people don't go to the barber shop anymore, they just shave their head themselves because a cut is now $1,000.
So will 250,000 even do anything, Kola?
It wouldn't. That's what we're saying. So we're just calling all these astronomical figures. If we don't fix the root cause of the problem, 250,000 is not going to. And how much was it? A plane ticket just 2 years ago. You could still go to America for 500,000 naira. You can't do that anymore. A return ticket just 2 years ago. And you're looking at 1.6 million, 1.7 million, 2 million and above. So I was at the departure hall of the airport when we were going to Jos on Friday. It was scanty. The Abuja airport that used to be, bustling, the old departure hall, you were struggling to find where to sit. And the seats are begging for people to sit down now. It's an empty hall. The reality, it costs 250,000 or 260,000 for a return ticket to Jos. How much was a return ticket to Lagos just a few years ago? We used to go to Kano like we were going to the market. And we started buying tickets to Kano for maybe like 20,000 one way. You can't try that anymore now. The least price you can get if you're flying anywhere in Nigeria is probably like 100,000. So that's the president has a lot of work to do to fix this economy, and I don't know how he's going to do it. I don't envy him right now.
If he has a lot of work to do. Now, I heard Senator Shehu Sani talk about how he was amongst the struggle. You've also talked about it, and then he talked about how he was always at the front with regards to the protest and all, and then he reminded him about people who during the EndSARS protest, people who have still not been reunited with their families, and he says do something about it immediately. Now, if you look at all that happened, like you said, he should be because he's the most prepared for all of this. Why did we have this looking like a try and error policy? Let's try this. If it's not working, we'll try another one. If it's not working, we just keep moving until one day something will work. If he's supposed to be prepared for all of this,
I think the president is not as sharp as he used to be, health-wise. Whether we like it or
but
not.
you're not his doctor. You can't speak for him.
Well, we can see. There's some things called facts. Facts are sacred. You can have opinions. You can twist your opinion to your side. But facts are there. And the fact is that he's an older man than when he was governor of Lagos State. That was like 20 something years ago, 23. He was governor in 1999. This is not the way you looked 22 years ago. So nature would naturally take its course. So he's an older man. He's not as sharp as when he was the governor, and which was a complaint, and they said no, his brain work and all that. So I'm not saying anything about his mental capacity. I'm not his doctor, but physically, visibly, you can see that he's slower. He's not as sharp as he used to be. You cannot take that away from governance. You must be fit, physically fit, to be able to take the rigors of the job. And that was why people were laughing yesterday when the president staggered. The same thing President Biden is facing in America. He's falling down a couple of times, and people are saying he's too old to take the backstage, let someone younger. Leading the country is not it's not kids' play. So if you have someone who is not 100% fit, then there will be discordant tunes from your soldiers. Like Bayononga saying one thing, Ajuri saying another. There's no
harmonization.
Yes, there's not. There's no harmonization. God forbid we go back to the days where we had a president that didn't know what was happening and they just held him hostage. And some people just took over governance, and we had an absentee president when Omar Yar'Adua was president.
All right, let's leave the Democracy Day matter and move straight to Rivers State. The tussle between the former governor and the current governor, and what the court is talking about with regards to the Rivers State Assembly. Let's get your thoughts in this regard. Now the judiciary is again, the story is on the front burner.
First and foremost, Nyesom Wike is a very lucky man. Yeah, he ruled Rivers State for 8 years. He's got one of the biggest portfolios, Minister of the FCT. I think his hands are full. He should face his ministerial appointment and deliver. You know, people used to call him Mr. Project in Rivers State, and I think that was the reason why the president appointed him as Minister of the FCT. And he does have large boots to fill. If you're going to compare Abuja when Malam Nasir El-Rufai was here, that should be his benchmark. The former minister of the FCT was an absentee minister. We didn't even feel his impact at all when he was there. So there is a chance for Nyesom Wike to really focus on his job and leave Fubara alone, to do his thing in Rivers State. If he doesn't, we Nigerians are going to be the poorer for it, because we will not be able to get the best from both men. It's a pity that we descended into this kind of democracy in Rivers State, governor demolishing the State House of Assembly, that building belongs to the Rivers State people. Now, if it's going to be rebuilt, it's going to come at a cost to the taxpayer. They should focus on governance and do the serious work to be done over there. Shouldn't allow the judiciary to come and get another bad name by dragging them into it. That's my view. There's a lot of work to be done, and both gentlemen should focus on their jobs and just bury the hatchet and just let the people enjoy governance.
So what are your thoughts with regards to the court judgment recently with regards to those who left and then the seats were supposed to be declared vacant? But
I haven't read the judgment. I won't be able to comment on it because I don't know the facts, and I'm just coming into the country and getting reappraised to the situation on ground. After a while, I stopped following the Rivers State issue. It was just a distraction as far as I was concerned. So I haven't read the judgment yet.
All right, let's quickly take this call before we go ahead. Good morning. Hello, are you there?
Morning.
Collins from Motupo, you have less than 1 minute. Go ahead.
Okay. What I want to contribute is this. Now, if the federal government see that the salary of the workers is too much, from my own little opinion, can we do one thing now? War issue. Like in my place, I'm from Zone C. And Zone C, in this Benue State, we have Zone A, Zone B, and Zone C. And this Zone A, we have one senator. Zone B, we have one senator. Zone C, we have one senator. Can we do something now? Let's see the House of Rep from Zone C, we are having 3 House of Rep members. And the same thing equivalent to Zone A and B.
Right.
As from Benue State now, we are having about 9 House of Rep members. Can we split this into 2? If happens that they see that the money is much in the side of the workers, let's be sincere now. The workers, as we are working now, every day come to the studio for the 30 days in a month. Then this assembly we are talking about, they have their preliminary section maybe twice in a week. And their salary was enormous.
All right, Collins, you need to round up.
You
need to round off, rather.
So that there will be reduction from the members of the House of Rep and that of Assembly.
All right.
And they not looking to their side. We are the masses that elected them there. Let's reduce this thing in a manner that it will suit everything.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Collins. Your point
Our
is well
cost of
taken.
governance is too high. We've always analyzed that on this show. We need to reduce the number of people in governance, starting with the National Assembly. We need to decide, are we going to have a 1 house or if we're going to have 2 houses? But they have to prune it down. When these new sets came in, the first thing they did was to settle themselves and bought vehicles of 160,000 for senators. Even Labour Party, that we thought was going to come in with a change, they didn't reject it.
So are you seeing any opposition at the National Assembly?
Opposition, how do you mean?
Are you seeing any opposition party? Used to be
Yeah, we're expecting
during the time of Dogara and all.
We were expecting at least Labour to come in with a wind of change. They were the less known party was in there, and this election actually was supposed to be beneficial to them. But when they got there, and they were also jostling for cars, $160,000 for a Jeep, for a senator, and we all kept. They even when we were speaking out, they just behaved as if they weren't hearing what we were saying. It didn't matter to them. So at the end of the day, the people on the street, the masses, don't really matter to people in government. Once they get into government, they think of themselves and their pockets. The cost of maintaining an office for an elected official in Nigeria is astronomous, and you're asking the ordinary person, the teacher, ordinary person like you, a journalist, and they're asking you not to ask for a wage increment, but we all go to the same market, and it's disproportionate in their own to them. They are earning obscene amounts of money, whereas the people who do the real work on a daily basis cannot afford this thing. They're very lucky that that strike was a warning strike. If Labour goes on strike totally, they're going to have the mandate of Nigerian people, because everybody is disgruntled, and they're going to crush the government. Forget what the government is saying, or they're going to sack people and all. No. You're going to have an uprising on your hands if everybody downs tools and sits at home. You can only lead where people are following you.
Let's take this last call before we head in the program. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Turn down the volume of your TV set so we can hear you.
Please, I want to contribute to that program.
All right, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm calling from Warri. My name is Samuel.
Samuel from Warri. Go ahead. You have 1 minute.
Yes. Democracy is different to different people. You understand? This democracy we are taking was built and lamented from the leadership. After living for many years, you understand me?
after ruling for many years. And that day was the day that children was the very day we had an election that would stay after no Nigeria. We are not going to start in the people are asking now, people are complicating issues. We looking with salary increase or something like that. Salary increase is different from democracy day. Let the pay you understand. Concern the salary, what the workers are demanding for. No state government are paying. That is reality, you understand. Because some state government cannot pay 30,000 up to now. Now they are asking for 250,000. Most of the assistants who are not salary earners, what are the market women who are not salary earners?
All right.
Where do they go?
All right.
You understand me? So, let God is saying state. Let the government give the government a chance. And let's put this economy right. We cannot continue with subsidy. Nobody can continue without subsidy. Nobody.
All right. Thank you so much.
Because they are carrying our fuel to us according to them. Even what I'm telling you. They are carrying our fuel to other countries to sell. You understand? So what I will beg government is to fix the refinery. Make the refinery be all right.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Samuel. We need. We're sorry, we have to let you go. Thank you so much, Samuel, for your contribution. Thank you so much, Kola. That's where we have to end this segment of the show. Thank you for coming. But before you go, let's touch on the social media, because I need you to say one or two things in that regard. All right, viewers, that's where we draw the curtain on this segment of the show. We'll go straight to our social media corner to see exactly what trended, and you already know, in case you didn't see that video, we'll bring you a bit of it. And President Bola Tinubu slip, and then you have Atiku Abubakar says, I sincerely sympathize with President Bola Tinubu at official bat. He said that via his X handle, says, over this unfortunate incident, as he was set to review the parade on Democracy Day. I do hope that all is well with him. Let's see that video and we'll come back to take some more comments.
Resume of the reviewing officer. The special guest of honor and reviewing officer for today's historic occasion, His Excellency President Ashwaji. Resume of the reviewing officer. The special guest of honor and reviewing officer for today's historic occasion, His Excellency President Ashwaji. Resume of the reviewing officer.
Early this morning, I had a swagger, and it's on the social media. They are confused whether I was doing Buga or doing Babarega. But it is a day to celebrate democracy while doing Dobale for the day. I'm a traditionally Yoruba boy. I did my Dobale.
Of the reviewing officer, the special guest of honor and reviewing officer for today's historic occasion, His Excellency President Ashwaji Bola Tinubu.
All right, Kola Alapinni. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu says that he was just doing his dobale as a Yoruba boy. So why were we all making a fuss out of it? If, like you said, President Biden also, one time or the other, had also had that fall.
I'm glad that the president has made light humor out of it. That was very bad fall. It was very bad fall. Yeah, he could have gotten injured if he hit his head on the side of the vehicle. His handlers have to be more proactive. And you know, he has done a double knee surgery. When I was telling you, all these things take its toll. He's done a double knee surgery. That could have really been disastrous if he had hit his knee. Because when you do a knee replacement, it's not the real bone that is put back there again. It's a plastic imitation. So yeah, my sympathies go to him. He was trying to be brave about it, but that was a bad fall.
So he wasn't the body.
he was making light humor out of it.
Okay.
It's not the way Dobale did was when he wants to greet elders. When you want to go and take a wife and they ask the groom to Dobale and all these guys are with you, how they Dobale?
I'm asking you, Kola.
I've answered you.
Now, Peter Obi says that I was saddened to learn of President Tinubu's unfortunate fall today. I wish him well. We achieved nothing by gloating about an accident that could have happened to any of us. He went on to say that we are all human beings and while we profoundly disagree on how to move Nigeria forward, we must remember our common human frailty. Let us stay focused on the issues that will lead to a new Nigeria. May this moment serve as a poignant reminder of our shared humanity and the need for compassion, empathy, and unity in our pursuit for a better future for a great Nigeria. Okay, let's go straight to the next story. And we have some policemen who were singing the new national anthem. You would have thought they should know how to sing it better. But let's see that video.
Upon their native land, those rights and laws may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigeria, all our vowed to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign in peace forever.
Okay, so Kola, that's some policemen who were singing the national anthem. I recall during when the bill was passed and given an assent, and then they were singing it at the national anthem, the National Assembly, I beg your pardon. You had the senator or the National Assembly members even saying that, or even the president. I also heard him say people who are at least 50 and above, they're the ones that should know how to sing the national anthem. So I felt like, okay, the Gen Zs, you people, you have to go and learn. But seeing this policemen who, so most of them should be over 50, and they have to read. Kola.
I thought that was a skit. You see
it as a skit?
I thought it was.
Oh.
When I saw it, I thought that was a skit. Well, I confess, I sang the old national anthem in primary school. That tells you how ancient. I sang it for 2 years.
Okay.
Before.
So that means you know how to sing the national anthem.
Oh, well, I used to very well. It's not difficult to recall.
Oh.
And at the University of Badon and a couple of other universities, it was an anthem of the student unionists. So whenever there was a student protest or demonstration, we never sang Arise O Compatriots. It was always Nigeria We Hail Thee.
All right.
That was what the student union.
All right.
That's the national anthem of the student union at the University of Badon.
All right.
So there are quite a number of people still at the University of Badon who can recite the old now new national anthem, Nigeria We Hail Thee. I think that was humorous of the policemen.
Okay. I would have actually loved you to sing about our time is fast spent. Thank you so much, Kola Alapinni, international human rights lawyer. Always a pleasure having you here.
Thank you. It's good to see you again.